It's a particular pleasure also to introduce our next speaker, because she, in 2005, received the L'Oreal UNESCO Award for Women in Science. And the lady I'd like to introduce is Zohra Ben Lakdhar. She's a Professor Emeritus of the University Tunis el Manar, and I do apologize if my Arabic pronunciation is not correct, of the University Tunis el Manar in Tunisia. And she's also a member of a UNESCO expert group for training of trainers in physics in developing countries. Please welcome Zohra Ben Lakdhar.
Thanks to everyone. Thanks to UNESCO for this meeting. So I will speak about light for development, and education is for sustainability. Light for development, everyone has spoken about that. No life on the planet in absence of light. What is light? This question has taken place over time along almost 2,000 years. Until the second millennium, the origin of light was a debate with the most common consensus: light comes from the eye. Ibn al-Haytham, 1015, the eye is a lens. No light in absence of matter. Light is seen when it interacts with matter. Absorption, reflection, transmission. He wrote Kitab al-Manadar, and he showed that eye is a loop and light is not coming from the eye through a set of new standard experiments. To put this experiment and to show that, he used problem-based learning, which is the new process used actually. And he is based on reasoning, sustained reasoning, questioning and reasoning. So then it was the first establishment of optics theory. 5 centuries later, looks for the nature of light. Light is wave. Light is for ones. It is corpuscle for others. It is wave corpuscle later. So I may say that light is the language of atoms of molecule. It is the language of matter. It was the establishment of quantum mechanics theory, and it opened the door of atoms world for nanotechnology at nano length scale. At the start of the third millennium, knowledge leading to a control of light, then control of the matter. The control of matter at atomic length scale. It is the basic of nanotechnology, of light technology, laser system, computer science, mobile phone, and so on. This technology is present anywhere in our environment. With mobile phone, with internet, lead to belong to any point on the planet at very short time. We assist to dilatation of space and contraction of time. Used by this mobile phone and internet are used by young as well as by old people, with connection sudden, immediately used. We assist to a handheld global position system satellite receiver, which can pinpoint its own owner's location anywhere in the face on the globe. Atom can be seen, its dynamic controlled, and new matter is created. DNA blueprint of life is decoded. We learn to manage the development and expression of gene. More than 400 exoplanets are discovered. We look for extraterrestrial, and so on. So technology based on light give an open source of knowledge. This technology begins with exploration of space. In 1955, The moon is rich with unmanned spacecraft by Russian people. In 1969, 10 years later, we see the first steps on the moon in July, and we see Neil Armstrong and 2 others. The lunar program led to the development of safety optical systems and the practice of software engineering to program those systems. Much of this knowledge gleaned from the Apollo program forms. We could see now what could be the impact of light technology developed following the second travel to space, the 10 years travel of space probe Rosetta, built and launched, and which arrived last November 2014. What could be the impact of space exploration, and what could be the future of ICT? We can see that we can look for what kind of education we had to make the sustainability of this development. The culture developed by scientists is supposed to be universal, without frontier and without global dimension, and with global dimension. 1969, when man was on the moon, it was, we can see that on the TV. It was I called all neighbors and young people. We had television at home. And I called these people to come and to see nails on the moon. And among the people there were, at that moment, a man who was our neighbor. I asked him to come. And he was afraid. He asked all of us, please, please, don't see this, please. It is forbidden. It is not real. It was the beginning of presence of a new wave that disturbed and reject the very process of reasoning and rational discourse, a type of anti-science in the air we breathe today in the unrestricted hedonism. This has been done by Baker in Physics Today in 1970. That means man all the time looks for the truth. What is the truth? Truth is defined in encyclopedia by Diderot and D'Alembert, a conformity of our judgment with what we are things. This judgment is personal. It depends on knowledge, on own initial disposition and life experience, on education received. Then how do we find the limit between one's beliefs and truth which is established, between one's opinion and science knowledge? The proportion of young people in the population in Africa today, the increase of population is higher than anywhere in the world. This demographic challenge calls for innovative solutions designed to meet the expectation of this new generation. What could be the solution? The solution is education for all, for young and for adult at the same time. Education over the planet with development of thinking, development of sustained reasoning, with respect of diversity. Education is a link between generations, between the past and the future. Education at school should lead to access to university. But to go now with education, we can't use the traditional way of education. We have to use new process of education. This new process is said as active learning process, problem-based learning, project-based learning. It is some new process, but to put in school, at the university, it is how to lead to education of children as, from the beginning as engineer. This needs teacher quality, and this teacher needs training. So I thank UNESCO for active learning process, which is a project developed by UNESCO with help of, actually with ICTP and SPIE. And this active learning process, this project, is followed since 10 years. It is put for developing countries, for training of trainers in these developing countries. This education, it should be for young people. It should be also education for society. Society, through TV, through assistance, through political speech. This education reinforces the public's interest for the evolution. In the 18th century was siècle des Lumières. It was, this century was dominated, not dominated, but initiated by some, by Voltaire, Rousseau, Diderot, and so on. And these people took the origin of this development of new way of acting on the society, is they took the origin in the rationality built by the scientists before. De siècle de lumière, pourquoi siècle de lumière? Parce que le savoir éclaire les esprits. Ils ont apporté un savoir pour éclairer les esprits. Et on a appelé ce siècle, siècle des Lumières. Education should not only for population, it should be also for responsibility of politics. Which vision of the society? Which leadership? Women should be equal to men if we like to develop society. We have to raising the esteem teachers by recognizing them as equal partners in the work of improving humankind. To invest in education is to construct the future. Education is very important. La jeunesse, young people, Mandela said, young people is as a rainbow. La jeunesse est un arc-en-ciel, dit Mandela. Cette jeunesse, these young people, many colors, many culture. We have to respect these different colors, these different culture, and what education will lead with regroup these persons. They will work together. And as light is, we may say that education is light. Light is built on rainbow, and education will link all these people to build the future together. Thank you.